Emmanuel, you'll need to unmute yourself. Looks like he just left for a moment. So. Give him a moment to come back. There you are. So Emmanuel, you'll need to unmute yourself. There you go. And go ahead and share whatever you care to share.
Thank you so much, Larry, for organizing this call on behalf of all friends of Magarini Children's Center and Organic Farming Demonstration. And on my behalf to share what has been happening and transpiring at Magarini Children's Center and Organic Farming Demonstration Farm. But before that, I would wish to give my utmost gratitude and thankful. I'm so touched to have all my friends and fellow learners from DDI whom have made it to this call today. And I want to say thank you so much for your love, kind, and support. And I want to welcome you even more and more because we have this series of meetings time to time as we communicate to share what is happening in Magarini Children's Center and what transpiring in our lives. So I want to say thank you so much for joining the call. I want also to say thank you so much for all our friends who have joined here, those whom I know and those whom we have met and those whom we have not met. We are meeting today. I want to say thank you so much for joining and make yourself home because this is the place where we all meet and share what is currently in our lives and also share about the project Magarini Children's Center and Organic Farming Demonstration Farm. So we have new and we have old supporters and old friends whom I have them here in this call today. I want also to say and extend my gratitude for all of you because without you, we wouldn't have done anything that we have done so far. Thank you so much for being part of us and being part of this project. Thank you so much. And I say remain safe and stay well as we live together in this troubled world. Thank you so much. I would love, Larry, you have something to say?
Yeah, just reading a note here from Randy. If you've not muted yourself, you might do that. He's suggesting we're getting some echo. So for people that are not speaking, maybe go ahead and mute your mic.
Maybe the echo was coming from my side. I've tried to make a little bit some improvement, so I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Emmanuel.
I want to take a few minutes to share about Magarini Children's Center and Organic Farming Demonstration Farm. Magarini Children's Center and the Organic Farming Demonstration Farm is a charitable community-based organization registered under the Kenya law here in Kenya. We work in the Coast Province of Kenya in Kilifi County in Marafa location, Marafa division in Magarini. We do organic farming to support children on how support children to get food. We grow our own food to feed the children, and we do organic farming because we feel organic farming is so much friendly in taking care of the soil and also trying to grow safe and healthy food. So this helps the children to remain healthy and safe at the center. Also the community, we join every Thursday together so that we work together in the farm. We learn together how to take care of the soil. We learn together how to protect the soil, and also learning together the skills of organic farming. And of late, we have also incorporated permaculture, and we since 2018, 2019, we have also been doing permaculture, and we have a food forest with us that is part of permaculture that we have been carrying on. At Magarini Children's Center, we support vulnerable children, orphans, and children who come from vulnerable or most poor families that cannot afford for supporting their children to go to school. So that's how we are conducting our activities and supporting the children. And through this, we have been having some friends whom have been committing themselves in supporting the project to make the children get the basic education, basic needs, including shelter and food. And we share also, or we teach the education as per the government curriculum. Now, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we have the children at the center, but we are not giving them education because it's until maybe next year when the government will issue some directions on how we can continue with the learning. But at the center, some children do come during the day, and we stay together and work together, and they get time to play. So this year we have been working at solely in the farm and growing food. The rain has been reliable and favorable, and we have had good harvest for corn and other cereals. So we have already harvested the food, and we have food now that will take us until next year, maybe in July or August. This is the most huge harvest we have had. Since 2015 to date. What we have right now, we have had the main challenges that we have are now we need to make some classrooms that will be enough to cover the social distancing when the children resumed school. So we have a project of 4 classrooms that we are now on the foundation stage that we are doing. That is a project that we started this March. Now we hope, or we hopefully, if we get full support, then we hopefully to finish that by January or before January when the children do come. We are now also on the process of having some chicken. That the chicken will provide eggs to the center, and also will provide manure. We take these livestock as partners in working in the farm, because if they provide manure, we took the same manure, make a compost, and then we now reach the soil with that. And we have also pigs at the center, and these pigs, we initially introduced pigs because they provide proteins to the children. Before they eat, they need meat. If they need meat, we don't have to buy. We only supply the meat from our own pigs that we take care at the center. All this gives the children an opportunity to learn how to grow how to take care of these animals, and also how to take care of the land and the soil, so that as they grow, they're fully aware that the food that we eat, the animals that they sacrifice their lives so that their own can continue. They need love, they need care, they need protection, so that it's a whole kind of holistic education that we provide for the children to grow and become even more self-reliant in terms of growing food, in terms of taking care of the soil, in terms of living in peace. And we have also accomplished successfully a project for toilets. Those are for female staff. We had toilets at the center for the staff and for the children, but we had a staff quarter for the female that is a little bit like 200 meters away from the toilets that we built. So the public or health officers, they came and they say, hey, you have to make a toilet for these female staffs. So we did that, and now that project is complete and is in use. The house for chicken is also complete, and the next month we hopefully bring the chickens at the center. So we are so much grateful for all your love and care and support. That is what we have achieved so far, and what we have we need so far. And in terms of the needs, we still have the boys' dormitory and the kitchen and dining for the children to have this to have on board. And we are also looking forward to get, because we don't have electricity at the center, we look forward to have solar storage systems, and that will provide electricity at the center, and also act like a well or electricity well for the community to get, because there is no electricity around the community. One successful thing that we managed to so far is we have 3 years ago we drilled a borehole at the center, and this borehole went 200 meters deep, but it can provide like 10,000 liters of water in 45 minutes. So it has been doing that, and it has been serving us since 2017 to date. So this has been a very like a gold to all the community and the children. And we also use the same water to do irrigation when it is very dry. We support our plants with the water from the well. So that is one that is really like giving life for the whole project because of the water. And I want also to say thank you so much for all friends and supporters for making this possible. Thank you so much for listening, and I want to give this opportunity if maybe there's any question in regarding my speech in terms of Magarini Children's Center and organic farming demonstration needs and success that we have achieved.
Thanks, Emmanuel. And if anybody has questions, you can either unmute yourself or raise your hand or whatever, but go ahead and let's just try unmute yourself and see how it works. Speak up if you got a question for Emmanuel.
Quick question, Manuel, a little technical question I'm sure has been answered in previous calls, but I can't recall how you, with no electricity, are able to extract water from that 600 or that 200 meter well.
Thanks, Randy. Emmanuel, you're on mute again.
Yes. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Randy, for that question. When we seek support for the borehole or for the well, and when we were told it's 200 meters to do that, Then they also gave us opportunity to say we can get solar panels and have the submersive machine. So this is what happened. We first in 2017 January we made the well, and then the well, when it was ready, after we drilled that well, when it was ready, we sealed it because we still needed the power to make the submersive machine to bring the water out. So in 2017 April to June, then we were looking for support to get the solar panels so that can provide power to the submersive water pump that will bring the water. So far today, we use solar to draw the water from the 200 meters with the submersive water pump that we got from after we made the well. So that is what we do. And these panels provide only the power to run the machine to store the water to up to from the 200 meters. It still has power to supply it for about 50 meters more. So it has a capacity to draw the water and supply it for like 150 meters. So we draw that water, we put it into our water tanks, and then the water tanks let it open by gravity to the other parts of the center, like to the dome, to the center where children can use the water, and also in the farm they use gravity to go to the farm. Thank you so much, Rand, for the question.
Thank you. That gives me a vivid picture, Emmanuel. And again, thanks for perfectly repeating what you've shared before.
Great. More questions? Shoshana, I see you're unmuted. Did you have a question?
No, I'm just grateful to be in the presence of this creative endeavor and this worldwide community that we're all in.
Yeah, it's great to see you here, Shoshana.
Thank you. I didn't get the email, so Marjorie got me connected this morning, just now.
Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't get it. I'll make sure.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope everyone is well.
Yeah,
that's on the call.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah.
I've got a couple more comments, but other questions for Emmanuel?
Yes. Emmanuel, thank you for sharing what you did. And I just want to share how deeply moved I've been working with Emmanuel and Jessica and Magarini over the years. And we have a mutual dear friend who's now in the next world. And I remember him calling me when he went to be at Magarini for the first time with sharing the medicine plants and doing some training and his voice was so emotional over the phone as he shared about, he said, I have never met such dedicated, compassionate, humanitarian people in Kenya. He said, like Emmanuel and Jessica. So thank you, Emmanuel and Jessica. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you, Linda, and thank you for mentioning the medicine plants and the peace gardens. And if you allow me, I will just share about it. We had our friend from Moranga, and his name was Peter Kuria. He's now deceased, and he's the man who trained us on medicine plants and locally, and he supported us in making the peace gardens where we grow moringa, we grow aloe vera, we grow pilipili manga and other medicine plants. And these medicine plants are so helpful because to the children, because As moringa, we use it as a vegetable to the children, and also we use them to give like tea for the children, the leaves. So this is been a very helpful in terms of healthy growing of the children. And we now looking forward, we are on the process of establishing a tree nursery plant, or where we can grow many types of different medicine plants and different trees, so that we can share with the community and we can share with other learning institutions, just in memory of Peter Kuria, because that was his vision, and we want to also to continue with that. So thank you, Linda, for your support in that project. And also thank you for supporting the beehives, the bee project, because I think you have been connecting with Jessica, and now we have harvested honey. You see, this is just little part we took from the harvest of honey, and it's so cool. Thank you so much.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you have another question?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Laura.
So Manu, I'm just curious about the staff there right now. Like, if you're not doing any of the teaching, are you able to keep staff there? And are you needing support in that way? And when you do get the new classrooms and have to make smaller classes, are you going to be able to maintain the staff or that kind of a thing? I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, just hoping that I know, right, like here it's hard, people as far as jobs and keeping people around if they're not working or not getting paid. And yeah, I'm just wondering if that's been an issue for you.
Thank you so much, Lori, for asking. This is what, since March, when the pandemic of COVID-19 was announced, we came together with all our staff, because we have 16 teachers whom needed to be still on the payroll and support their families back there, or back to their homes. And because the children were not moving for the normal learning, this is what we did. We took these children to host families. That was the original way we used to keep the children. But before we brought them, after we have the dormitory at the center. So we did that, and then we said, okay, let's form like a host family, a teacher group that will be visiting these children, and we should getting information how these children are growing, or how these children are treated and how are they fed, because we also give food for the host families to take care of these children. So when we did that, we said, okay, we need you guys, the teachers here, or the staff we need, because it was time also in the farm. So we dedicated all the time for them to work in the farm. And then we talked with all friends of Magarini Children's Center and Organic Farming if they can contribute all for their salaries and up to date. So I want to say that up to now, we still have all our staffs, and they have been getting their salaries on monthly basis because of your contributions that you have been contributing towards sustaining these staffs. So thank you so much for mentioning that, because it's a continuous need that we do need every month to have. We need to at least to have $3,000 US, so that we can pay all the staffs. And I want to say thank you, because this figure has been coming and with challenges, but we still need more support to see that these staff are continue, and they are doing great job, because we have now been working and making all the harvest and the storage, and they have been providing all the manpower and skills and learning together with that. So we still have all the stuff, and we since then we still had support to pay the staffs, and this support comes from you friends. So if you give any amount is possible, we accept that, and we really say thank you for that.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, you could stay unmuted here if you want. Any other one? How about one more question, and then I'd like to move on if there's anything else.
Larry, I have a question for Emmanuel.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, Emmanuel, do you, in the time of this pandemic, do you have reasonable access to personal protective equipment for your staff and for the children?
Thank you for asking. At the early in March, when this pandemic was started, we needed some protective materials that we needed. So we requested for support, and we got these sanitary materials for washing hands, and also we have some sewing machine. So we make our own masks that we make, like this one. So we make this to provide the staff at the center and also the children who do come, and we give this also to the community whom cannot afford to buy these. So we get some materials, and we have some sewing machine that Jessica and two other women are working on that, producing these small things to support the children. And with this, we buy the materials, and these materials were provided to make from the Amadeluna project, because they used to make these washable sanitary towels. So when the COVID-19 came, we also used the same materials also to make these masks like this. So we provide them with this so that they can be safe. Thank you for asking, Thomas.
Thank you.
Great question, Tom. And they also early on put in several hand washing stations.
Yeah.
So that could become a regular hygiene practice.
Yeah.
Would love to, this is all wonderful and we could keep this going, but I'd love to also engage in this other kind of conversation. And but let me add a couple things here. Other needs that Emmanuel, I think you didn't mention, but just to mention too, that there is a major solar proposal that we're working on that's about a $225,000 solar proposal to bring in a major solar project. Also, Emmanuel, right, there's a need for about $3,000 to bring in water and toilets to the girls' dormitory, right? Mm. And so that would be, right now they have to go outside at night, and that exposes them to some vulnerabilities, of course, and so on. And there is no lights, it's dark to go to the toilets. And the other piece with the baby chickens coming soon at the end of the month, 500 baby chicks, imagine that. They need a special food for the first 3 months. And the center could use $500, I believe, to buy that special food to keep those chicks healthy and well into, growing up where they can feed off the land and eat other foods that the center can provide. Okay. So, Emmanuel, I'd like to ask you to speak to this question, and I don't quite know how to set this up, but it strikes me that part of what the center is offering is a vision. And Emmanuel, you call this and speak to it about peace from the soil. But I'm struck that what is it if we consider the human soul to, that it grows into a kind of soil, like a plant does, and that somewhere in humanity's early history, a seed of separation was planted into our souls versus the seed of innate belonging and worthiness. And that part of what we're witnessing today from the fires and climate change and the political environments and the polarizations of those politics and so on, the us and them kind of environment is the growing of a seed of separation. And so this idea, Emmanuel, of seeds of hope for tomorrow from today's love of the soil, would you just, anything you'd care to share about that and sort of reflecting on the human soul and the seeds of our soil, the soil that we root our soul in?
Thank you, Larry, for asking. And as you said, we have developed this philosophy of peace from the soil. I have done that because I felt there's some awareness that is needed to the humanity today so that we can create a sustainable peace. And this peace should be right from our hearts before we expose it outside or we practice it outside. The peace should be also in our heart. But to get the peace in our heart, how do we get that? So we said caring for the soil is caring for yourself. When you love the soil loves you back. And the soil gives support and connects with all humanity and all those who love the soil. When I say seeds of hope for tomorrow is now reached by the love of the soil today, how this came in my heart and my mind is the currently challenges that we or the humanity or humans being are getting into, all these challenges in terms of the pandemic, in terms of climate change, in terms of these fires and diseases that are so much scaring. Then I was thinking about the children, and not only the children at the center, but the children worldwide. Because we as parents, or we as teachers, we as human beings, taking care of the children, we mean we are taking care of the next generation, of the next community after us. So when I said now seeds of hope, I was trying to see we as humans, how much love or how much a sense of belonging do we have in ourselves that we can create a space for all of us to have just a minute to protect, to care, and see the nourishment of the soil. And meaning that we are all connected. We are all one family. And this is something that is really, it's real. If I say one family, all human beings, we depend on the soil to eat, to build our houses, to improve our livelihood. Everything that we do on the soil. But there are other people who also do other things in terms of their own lives. But when we say taking care of the soil, I mean creating this space. And this space can start right from our heart. Feeling you, feeling the other person gives us a sense of care and love. And when we do this, then we are creating a sense of hope, not only for ourselves, but also for the children that we are caring. And they know this sense of living together, this sense of being in a way of knowing yourself, knowing your roots, is something that gives a space for all of us to dream, and to dream of who we are, to dream of what we need, of what we love, and what we want to do. This sense of belonging, sense of wholeness that is created. And for me as a farmer, I feel the way we can achieve this is taking care of the soil. It does mean that if you are working in the office, you can take care of the soil by taking things that takes care of the soil, that you eat food that is nourished and grown from the soil without any pollution, that is eating safe and healthy food, gives you a sense of who you are and a sense of sharing, because it gives the love that we all need. And this is the love that starts right in our heart, in our inner beings. If we have love in our inner beings, then we know ourselves and we create awareness of our own self and our own being that spreads to the other part or to the other person, and then to the other person with the support of the soil. So right now, all these challenges that we have, if we can still give a space and create a space that we can take care of the soil, and I mean taking care of the soil, loving the soil will take care of you. The soil will love you back. The soil will provide what you need. This is a process that it can take some time, but when we devote ourselves to do that, then we create that sense of community, sense of belonging, sense of who you are, and getting unity in terms of just sharing. Because sometimes I feel like the problem of hunger everywhere is because few people want to feed the world, of which the world was not meant to be fed by 2 or 3 people or 5 people who owns big portion of land and they make use of large machines. No, this community of humanity was created in a way it just can feed it or herself in terms of food production. And because of these many uh, greedy that is formulated because of our own political systems, of which I don't want to go deeper into that. But what I'm trying to say is creating this love from our hearts and building the community in terms of protecting the soil, in terms of taking care of the soil, in terms of loving the soil. Because once we love the soil and take care of the soil, then there is life that we protect in the soil. And by doing that, we protect our own life. And when the soil is dead, then we are not, our lives is diminishing, because the main support, that is the soil, if it is dying, then that means that we are losing our own lives. And this is happening in many different ways, though very few people can notice that. But I, as a farmer, I see that in terms of the soil that I'm working on. I need to protect it. I need to put natural manure and make it more even healthier. And because I know the soil communicates through its own natural ways, then that gives an opportunity to heal. And we all need to heal. And if we need to heal, then we can create a space for the soil to heal so that we can heal our own wounds. We can heal our own problems. We can heal our own deeper wounds that have been created for a long time. And I want to stop there because I'm also aware of the time, and I would want also to create space for any questions that maybe may have arisen because of my talk. And I want also to call upon that we are all one, and we are all coming from the same soil. And from the same soil, I don't know if someone may not or not be willing not to go back, but that's the way. So to create a space for the next generation, that's why I say seeds of today or seeds of tomorrow, the hope, the seeds of hope of tomorrow is now reached by the love of the soil today. It's a wider thing, but I believe I have just given a little from what I have learned from the elders within my community.
Thank you, Emmanuel. It's beautiful. We'd like to open a space for a few reflections from people, brief reflections. As Emmanuel and I planned to call, we thought we'd hold this piece to sort of stopping roughly right on the hour, and then create a space for people that want to leave to do that. And then if other people want to hang on for another 15 minutes, or, we'll sort of see, play it out and have further conversation, we'll have that sort of carryover. But we do want to let people leave, create a space for people to check out on the hour if they want. But how about a few reflections? Anybody want to step forward with anything, responses?
Emmanuel, I have to say thank you again. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing. Thank you for surviving this long to see this day. You're on the cutting edge. You're still on the cutting edge, and I know that's hard. And I'm talking about when you mix a conversation about, what the elders instructed about the story and moving the heart alongside some technical specifications for the water pump. This is so needed in the world. Keep going. My heart is with you.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Randy.
Just to piggyback on what Forgotten Waters has shared, my deep appreciation, love, and respect for you, Emmanuel. I do believe that you are modeling with such great integrity the leap that humanity has to take in order for us to survive. It's that essential, what you're doing, and it inspires me as a small-time grower to think about the soil differently each time I touch it with my feet or my hands, and get that visceral, deep connection on a material level, recognizing that has the spiritual power to ripple out everywhere if each of us can get in touch with it within ourselves first. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. That's so inspiring to me too.
Someone else?
I'm totally amazed on where you've gotten with your project, Emmanuel. I mean, when I visited a few years ago to now, that is so amazing. And also, your deeply felt philosophy of peace from the soil and giving back to the soil and giving thanks to the soil. And we all connect on the soil with each other. So whenever you talk about it, it's getting into me deeper and deeper, because in the beginning I thought, what's he talking about? The soil all the time, you know, and peace from the soil. And it really starts reaching me deeper and deeper how true that is on every level. So thanks a lot for just sticking there, and give my love to Jessica and your family and your girls, all those girls and women. Thank you so much. I feel your support right here in Germany. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you so much, Brigitte.
So once again, Emmanuel, just thank you for being an inspiration. I've known you for around like 5 years right now, and your passion just keeps getting high and above, over the peak for what you love doing, you know. And you've created a whole community around this project of yours, you know, from the social life to the educational life to you know, just making these people learn whatever you're getting from it, and also putting it into perspective of what the soil has been teaching you and how it relates to life. I mean, looking at myself and the generation, this is something which we tend to see each and every day. People are looking at the, you know, white collar jobs as the way to go, and migrating from the rural homes coming to towns, thinking that that's the way to go. And yet looking at you, listening to you, you represent the 0.01% of the people providing the pillar and feeding this nation. And I'd just like to say thank you. It's been more of an insight to me. And thanks for connecting me back to my roots. And definitely I dive in and get my hands dirty a bit, speak to the soil and let me learn from it. So thank you.
Thank you, Smith. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Can I?
Yes, please, Laurie.
I just wanted to say that the all is one and how we're connected. I've been out spending time under the stars and the moon, and I always think you're looking at the same one as I am. And sorry. And this morning I looked on Google Earth at the center and at your home, and I just think about your family and all those kids, and I miss you, and I send all my love, and I think you've inspired me to be a better person, and you're doing amazing work. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laurie. I think that's a beautiful place to transition here and create a space for people to check off. And then for people that want to hang on a little longer, we'll do that, because obviously this raises a lot of emotional stuff, and it goes to the roots of really what does it mean to be a human being, and what is a human. And so I'd like to share a poem that sort of speaks to this for me in this question of really the soil that is this soul roots into. And coming out of a really deep world of separation from myself, being suicidal at 9 years old, to this place of celebrating life right now, which is the spirit that I hear Emmanuel coming from. This is a celebration of life, this relationship that you speak to, Emmanuel. This is stepping into a different worldview, as you spoke of, Randy. So this poem is called That I Am Enough. That I am enough. Oh, this feeling of sufficiency in the world. Oh, this intimacy with innate belonging. Oh, this resting in the birthright of emerging from the womb with indigenous identity, value, and worth. Receiving and knowing through a deep primal wisdom and intelligence, one's place in the world is held in a community, and is held in a circle of community, a landscape of relationships and story, ecological interweavings with all of life, embodied beingness. I and you and we and they, all born into the one tribe, the tribe of those invited, invited into opening to marvel, wonder, and delight. As we swim together in awareness and gratitude for the great unspeakable mystery in which we find ourselves, awakening and enough just as we are. In which we find ourselves awakening and enough just as we are. So this is a world in which the news daily contains more numbers of people feeling depressed and suicidal and etc. It's the challenging times that are beyond description. And yet this deep identity of returning ourselves to the soil and all that is, for me, is where hope lies. And it's part of what I call wild resiliency. It's this return of the identity to wholeness, into oneness, into belonging. And so this is the journey of healing I think humanity is upon. And each of us, there's an ancient tradition that says we're each born into the time that we are meant for. And so I suggest too that we are all here, born into this time because of the medicine that we carry. And so to allow ourselves to rest in that is part of that journey. And that is, I think, to the invitation that the soil is giving us to put our roots into that belonging and innate worthiness. So with that, I would say thank you, Emmanuel, my brother. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. And if anybody needs to check off, this is a good time to do it. And if people want to stay on a little longer, Emmanuel and I will stay on certainly. And I'm sure other folks, some folks will too. So
I want to say thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been so supporting and also so touching. And I have you can just feel me because I lack words to that. And I just want to say I'm grateful to be with you all. And I love you all. Thank you so much. And I know that there are so many whom have been wanted to join. Like I want to say to Barbara Luce, who wanted to join and wanted to be with us here, but because he's in a healing process and he's home. So I know she's feeling with us here. So I want to mention that because he's one of also friend and main supporters of all of us and for the project. So I want to mention that and say thank you so much for your continued support. And I'm sure that together when we care and protect for the soil, we are creating a new heart for ourselves, a heart that gives the sense of giving back to the soil and taking from the soil and sharing. Thank you.
thank you, Emmanuel. I do want to mention too that we'll post a recording of this, and you can find it on, I'm sure, the Magarini or Emmanuel's Facebook sites or on mine. My email address is lg@wildresiliency.com, or you can go to wildresiliency.com. So sweet. Let's just take a moment and feel the silence together and be in presence together and just let in what it is that we're each feeling. Thank you. Let's just, Emmanuel, you were going to say something?
You can go ahead.
We could go into a breakout kind of thing, but let's just sort of create a space maybe where allow people to, if people want to speak, they can. So does that sound good? Feel good for people?
I don't know, but I feel if anyone wants to share anything or ask anything, and I want to thank everyone for the comments and the feedback that I'm getting on the chats, and I want to say also thank you for that. And if you want to say in words, also you have the opportunity to do that. You still.
I'd like to say something.
Karisa.
First, I feel all the love here. Africa is right here in my heart. I feel the love from all the people on the Zoom. And years ago, I legally changed my last name to Love about 30 years ago, and I'm still learning what is love. And I haven't had the relationship with the soil, having grown up in the man-made sky for 44 years, not touching the ground. So I'm learning that the real nourishment in life comes from love. And Emmanuel, what you're living, and you are the soil. You live your truth, and you bring others along, a community all over the world. And you're teaching about mutuality, that love is mutual. And although I didn't learn that much about the soil, I was in Africa 25 years ago, and I looked at my sketchbook last night from 25 years ago, and I wrote about the soil. And here I am living in the man-made sky on the 44th floor. And when I was in Africa, I just felt something, the soil was alive to me. And so thank you for living, honoring the soil, which is honoring real love and real nourishment through mutuality, and including all of us all over the world. I'm so honored. The luck that I could be here, that Robin Easton told me to come on this Zoom. I'm not even a hiker. You know, I always say life is it's all custom, that I could actually be here with you, Emmanuel. There's no distance in the heart. I feel as close as if you're sitting right next to me. And the people that have spoken, I listen to where you're coming from. You amaze me, the depth of your being. So I thank you for letting me be a small part of the community. And I love all of you. I'm learning.
Thanks, Shoshana.
You're welcome.
Emmanuel and Larry, thank you so much for this program. It is very inspiring. I have a question about the school. You said that you teach the government curriculum, and clearly, though, you are also teaching the children ways of being in the world of oneness and unity and caring and connection with the soil. Do you incorporate those ways of being into the school curriculum also, or do you do formal studies or formal experiences that you take the students through so they can experience oneness and caring and the dedication to unity through the soil?
Thank you so much for asking. And the answer is that I grew up in all my life in farming, and I got my formal education through farming. I could do farming and also pay for my school fees. And it's through this motivation and life that I learned. And I said, I wish to take care and teach children how they can grow and safe and healthy food, and also they can take care of themselves even when they grow up. But how to do this? So the need of formal education as per the government curriculum was a need in the community, because schools were far away, children could not walk, and those children who could not go to school, mostly of them were orphans, and they could not be able to access education. So I took this initiative and say, okay, this here is an opportunity where I can teach the children the ways of taking care of the soil and growing food without any hindrance from the government or any other people who may not want children to work in the farm. So I said, okay, I will provide the government curriculum. I will take care of all the needs as per the government needs. But at the same time, when the children are learning, I have time with them. Like every day they have like 1 hour or 1 hour that they just put their hands in the soil, that they have time to take care of or feed the animal, to feel that this sense of living in a way that they can be independent. So with that, I can encompass and bring together. And when these children are growing, then they are different from the other children whom they only go for the formal education. Why I do this? Because I believe with the state education or with the formal education, you will need to be employed when you finish. And with this life of unemployment, if you don't have any skills on how to take care of the soil and grow safe food, you'll be in problem. If you don't have any skill of maybe taking care of a chicken or a pig so that you can eat yourself and you can share this to other, even sell, then you can be also in a problem. So having this I in mind, then I said, okay, I provide the children with the basic or with basic education and formal education. At the same time, after during these sessions, I bring them to the farm and they will learn how to grow food, how to take care of the soil. And to do this, they create love in their heart because they love the soil, they care for the soil. So we say, when you care for the soil cares for you. When you love the soil loves back. So the children have this, and you can see just when they create a space of working, it's like playing for them, and the love of how they create itself is just amazing. So that's how I managed to do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, great question, Chris. And Emmanuel, I believe for children that are not going on to school after they leave there, don't you have isn't part of the idea to be able to give them some chickens and seed and so on, so that they can, if they leave the center, graduate, so to speak, they'll have something to start with. So you're on mute, Emmanuel. Emmanuel,
We were lucky last year that we had 15 children graduated from the center, whom we have been with them for almost more than 10 years. But now they graduated to go to higher school. So we were very lucky to get support for all of them to get to the high school. And this made them very grateful, and they do come at the center and they want to be part of what is happening at the center, and they want to do that even in their where they stay in the homestays. So this gives us the hope that what we are doing is nourishing the children to grow on a sustainable way.
Manuel, you know, the Moringa has originally there was some promise that Moringa was going to be making some income, some revenue. How is that going now?
First, we wanted to do that, and we are still willing to do that. But there were some people who said maybe they want to buy the leaves, they dry to make tea, and we collected the seeds, and we collected also the leaves. But what we have been collecting has not been of much that we can sell, because the children eat that the leaves in terms of vegetables, and that is also helpful for us because they help in like medicine to the children. So when we only sell little, for we have not yet sold any part of it, but we still have the dry leaves, and if the people need, we can still work together and get some.
Anyone else?
This Bill, what comes up for me with respect to the conversation around the curriculum and around the soil teaching, I mean, it's really a remarkable way of sensing the difference, at least for me. I've always had the feeling, sort of innately, that if a person can add, subtract, multiply, divide, know a language, and run a computer, basically they can do anything they want in the world now that these technologies are around. By technologies, I mean not only the computer, but just words, being able to talk. So one of the important things of this electricity phenomena is the ability to communicate from anywhere, and to have your community, anyone who wants to join the community can join, just like we're joining right now. I mean, it's really, really remarkable, and it's remarkable how you know, all of you are teaching me in a wonderful way that I have not been taught before. But this remarkable technology, this outreach, can be available just from Emmanuel and from the children, just reaching out through a website to embrace a broader community. And that's just simply, if you know how to use a computer and know how to use words and add, subtract, multiply, divide, so you can, in essence, work the markets that are all interconnected electronically. So the ability to actually move produce doesn't mean that you have to necessarily truck it to a market. You can ship it to some market. You can do various kinds of things. So it's quite extraordinary to be a part of something that can be enormously outreach, Emmanuel, through your just very wonderful communication. It's a very simplistic way of connecting. So thank you. And I do have a question. I know you've written on this. I've never seen the writing.
I didn't get the last word, Bill. What say?
I said, I know you have written on this.
Yeah.
I've never seen your writing. The other thing is that Larry, what comes up is that we're talking about our website. We've been talking about it for some time. The ability to access on the website a community outreach such as this is really quite remarkable. I mean, just having this type of experience published would be interesting if people would agree to do that. But it's a kind of sharing and everything else that I think is a representative example of what can be done.
Yeah, good point, Bill. I'm going to try and post to the chat a recent piece of Emmanuel's writing that I put on my blog about peace from the soil. Try to pull that up here real quick. And for anybody that wants to find that. And if you're not on my email list and want to get on that, so you can get notices of these calls and other such events, you can email me. Let's see if I can find this. There we go. So I'm going to post to the chat now a link to this blog post with Emmanuel's article on peace from the soil. That's on the chat. We do plan, actually, business partner Cheryl, that is a friend of Emmanuel's also, we're going to do some kind of call like this as a benefit for Magarini. And this has just come up in the last couple of weeks or so as an idea. And you guys can all, of course, help us spread that word, but to sort of do an ecological dive into this idea of oneness. And we'll take people on a virtual hike and have this conversation, but try to create a benefit for Magarini out of it. And that's a new idea. I have no idea how that'll work, but it'll be fun. So. We've been on the call almost an hour and a half now. Anybody else want to say anything? Emmanuel, or anybody else want to say anything before we sort of move towards some kind of closure? I will try to save the chat as well and make that available for people that want to pick up anybody else's email or contact information. Karen,
yes,
please.
Yes, thank you. I want to thank you so much, Emmanuel, for this wonderful, wonderful work you're doing. I'm so moved, and I feel I learned so much from you about the soil and about the belonging of all of us. And personally, you really touched my heart. I feel so much how you also make me feel a better person. And I am so inspired for your community, the community you created, and the way you give to all around you, expanding your community to reaching out for everyone. And especially, as you know, my heart is very much also on the children, how you do this work with them and how you make them feel at home. That is really touching, Emmanuel, the belonging you create, the sense of belonging. It touches me so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Karin. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. You really, I think, spoke for all of us through your heart there and your tears. Thank you. Emmanuel, it's truly a gift and an honor to know and love you. And Jaskar.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just count the book. Jessica is now here. She wants to say hi to you.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Truly, you're doing miracle work over there. And
Hi,
we.
friend.
Hi.
Linda, how are you?
Star.
Hi. How are you all? Hello. I'm happy to see you all and to hear you.
Pleasure to see you, Jessica.
Yes? Mm-hmm.
So
I'm not feeling well, but I'm okay. Yes.
Hope you feel better soon.
Thank you.
We want to give you our deep gratitude.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for all the love you're sharing and the dedication and the incredible 24-hour round the clock.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Yeah. And may you be better very soon.
Yes. I wish to be fine soon.
Yes. And know that we are sending our love and deep gratitude.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. And blessings on the children and the staff and all those there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, friends.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Jessica.
Have a good day.
I think this is a beautiful way to, and just energy to close this with. And maybe we just, again, take just a moment, 30 seconds or whatever, to be with each other in feeling and presence. And really allow in what we're feeling and how we're moved by this call personally. There's a deep invitation in this call for belonging and innate worth and value for all of humanity and all of life. Emmanuel, you want to say anything in closing, my brother?
I'm deeply touched and moved at the same time. And you are all in my heart. And I want to say thank you so much for touching me in a very special way to encourage me. You have encouraged me, strengthened me, and also increasing the power of hope in me that all what I'm doing, I'm not alone. I feel you. We are together in this path. So thank you, everyone, for your love, kindness, continued support, and thank you for being part of us. We are one community. We are one family. And I say thank you so much.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Let's see, Marjorie's asking that I post the donation link for Magarini, and so let me do that real quick. Oops. Let's see. They can make donations directly at the Magarini Is that it, Emmanuel? What's your?
www.magarini, this small dash, and then center.org.
Okay. And I'm going to post on the chat a international peace group. For those in the US or Canada, you can make tax deductible donations at this link I just posted. Again, there's a sort of an urgent need for the $500 for food for the chickens, the baby chicks, and then also to bring water and bathrooms into the girls' dormitory, and that's $3,000. So you can become a supporter, and you are a supporter just by your heart there. You can also become a monthly donor if you're not, which makes a world of difference. Tell other people. When time and circumstances allow, you can visit. You can champion a project and just send your love.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Go ahead.
Thank you for saying that, Larry. You remind me you can be a supporter in like 3 ways or 4 ways. First, you can have the start like if you have any project that the ones we have mentioned and your heart goes for one and you want to support that, you can take that and do fundraising on your own, and then we accomplish that in your name. You can also be contributing any amount on monthly basis. There is no big money and there is no small money. So all monies can support and do something. So you can become a monthly contributor on with any amount that your heart will let you feel comfortable to do that. You can also donate if you have used for iPhones or use anything like material wise. You can also support that, or you can also be a supporter on like having come to work with us, staying with us, working together, and share all your skills, your love, and taking care of the soil. And then you can be part of us, and you can come visit, and we shall all appreciate that. And we have the ongoing building of our you can get us on our Facebook page. You can like the page, and we can also share in that. And as Bill said, we are doing the website now, and you can be part of it. So thank you so much.
Because we also need money for hiring somebody to work on the website. So thank you, everyone. Love to you all. Be well, stay wild. Mother Earth is. So is the cosmos. Goodbye, all. Big hugs. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mm.